All right. So now we'll now we can start.
Now let's roll it.
Yep. Sweet. What's up? Yeah, I got a couple of the commander things and stuff like that, but yeah. I was just gonna say it's a terrible thing. Yeah. Yeah, that's a a full commander deck. You unbox it, sleeve it up, and it's they're these these precons. And now I have can't see behind me. I have so far purchased um all the precons that came out this year, as far as the ones that are supposed to be replacing the Planeswalker decks. So if you back up a little bit from there, usually with each new Magic the Gathering set that comes out, they have pre-constructed 60 card Magic decks that are focused around the Planeswalkers that are in that set. And Planeswalkers are special cards. They act differently. So like we talked about, if you're a Magic person, if you found this video because of the title or whatever, you'll know exactly what a commander is. I mean, sorry, a Planeswalker. But for this year, they decided that it's going to be the year of commander. They decided to put out 2 pre-constructed EDH decks, commander decks, with the new releases. So I haven't opened any of mine yet, so I don't actually know what the deck lists look like. So I'm not sure the power level or what these ones are like versus each year. Usually around November, so about this time, they usually come out with 4 pre-constructed commander decks, just for commander, and they have all kinds of reprints, and they introduce a lot of new cards to those ones. But with these ones that are coming out in conjunction with the new sets, they've only got 3 new cards in each set, and then the rest are all reprints of some kind. So not sure what the power level is, but the general idea is maybe you're new to Commander, whatever, and you want to try it out. You pick up one of these Commander precons, and it kind of pushes you in a general direction of what that deck's want to do. And we'll talk about that in a little bit here when we get into the unboxing and stuff like that. But yeah, they're just made to pick up and kind of get you pointed in the right direction. They're not like super overpowered. Obviously, if you're somebody that's already got like a pretty good collection, you're going to start eyeballing certain cards that you're like, this doesn't really make sense. I'm going to take this out. Or certain cards you have, you're like, oh my God, this card would be awesome for this deck. I'm going to put that in. So yeah, we always take these.
Sorry, and now to back up.
No, that's all right. Yeah.
So for me, the layman's, because I am the noob, in this situation. If I put a card in here, it has to be one of a kind to this deck, correct? I can't put like 2 giant growth or whatever. It has to be
Right.
single cards.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the two things, and we're not going to get into the banned and restricted list. I mean, you can look those rules up yourself and figure out which ones are. Dude, Rogue. I just got one of those. Did you get
Costco, bro?
Did you get the supply drop?
Yeah, from Costco.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, and
yeah.
by the way, we are not sponsored by Traverse City Whiskey Company or was it Rogue? Rogue. These are just new things that we went and picked up some stuff.
Nice.
We went there, grabbed some stuff before the newest restrictions hit. We had a few things ordered for Christmas gifts, and we always hit up Traverse City Whiskey. And I don't drink whiskey, but I'll drink a mixed drink of their stuff.
There you go.
I'll do me a nice mixed drink.
Right.
But, just let everybody know.
But yeah. So going back to that, so
whiskey.
Nice.
Perfect things for Magic. But yeah.
So basically, the 3 things with Commander, and like I said, we won't talk about the ban list, because obviously there's certain cards that would just be completely due to the rules of Commander. But what sets Commander apart from regular 60 card Magic is that it is a singleton format, which means that outside of basic lands, so your plains, islands, that kind of thing, outside of basic lands, you can only have one of a card. So like perfect example. Yeah, you can't have 2 giant growths. You can't have. So there's the number one thing. You can only have one of a card. The second thing is that the colors that are in the mana cost.
Yeah.
So your commander there is blue green.
Yeah, it has to match.
So so you can only have blue and green cards in there. Yeah. Right. So yeah, blue green cards for you and singleton.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's other little things like your starting life total is 40 instead of 20, and then they have a thing called commander damage. So
that's
your
why
commander.
I was really aggressive with that. That's why Spell Table has 40. I did not know why it auto populates a game as 40. You can change it, but it starts off as 40.
And you can also add your commander.
I thought this was new. Like these commanders were new to this, to whatever series this is. This is just Legends. I thought this was brand new. And when we went to Target to pick up some stuff that we got a pickup. And we're like, well, while we're here, let's get a couple of the essentials because we're already here. You know what I mean? And we don't go out to too many places. So we wanted to get some like gift cards for like some delivery people and stuff like that, because we're pretty much doing a lot of deliveries. So we want to get some like $5 gift cards and stuff. And how Target's laid out, the gift card area and the Magic stuff is all in the same spot. Now, pre-COVID, I would have just like said, excuse me, to people waiting in line, and went like right to the cards. But now we're in COVID. I pretty much just got in line behind somebody, and Dana was looking at gift cards anyway. And I'm nervous. I hate being out. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, but we're getting stuff that we need. So I'm like, if we're gonna get stuff we need, I'm gonna get something I want. We're already here. You know. So I grabbed a green box actually at first. The Rise of Zendikar Rising, or is that it right?
Yeah.
And it was a green, white, red. Don't quote me on that. It's like some big like humanoid tree creature, like on the front.
It is green, white, red.
And
I'm looking at it right now. Yep.
So that's what I had, because I didn't realize that there was other sets. So I set it down, and
I'll explain that, but keep going.
We just had a few things, and we start to get ring out, and there was an issue with one of the gift card packs, because they're packs, and I'm just like in my head, I'm like, dude, just get the one you want. I wanted this one, this is what I was looking and stuff, but I was like being like a nervous kid where it's like, no, this is fine. You know what I mean? Like, let's just get our stuff and go. I don't want to be here. And then finally I'm like, well, there's a moment, the stuff, so I pick it up, I hung it back up, and then grabbed the blue one and put the blue one down. Like total like a child. Like, no, this is actually the toy I wanted. I didn't want Hulk Hogan. I wanted I wanted Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yep.
So I got that one instead, and there was like a whole issue with the gift cards anyway. But I thought this was new. I thought that they weren't. I didn't realize that they were doing. And so this, caught my eye because
that is the newest, right?
Yeah.
So that's the new. So
new hotness. I thought that I didn't realize that doing these like as a commander deck had been done with Zendikar Rising.
Right.
Because I've been wanting to do commander because I know this is like your style of play of choice. And I think it fits more in what I would kind of like to have Magic, where it's just like you just have one deck that you keep kind of tweaking.
Right.
You don't have to worry about so much, you know.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about like the revolving, you know, like, oh well, what can go like other than stuff that's banned.
Yeah.
It doesn't ever go like it doesn't rotate.
It doesn't like just walk.
So you don't have to like next year at this time next year, for the sake of argument, say you didn't change anything with that deck, it would still be viable.
Yeah. And now even if stuff gets banned, you have one of it in your deck.
Yeah, let's just take it out and put something else in.
So it's and the odds of like a ton of stuff getting banned in your specific deck is low, right?
So it happens. It does happen.
Okay.
There are things. A few sets ago, there was something that got printed, and then they just didn't because. Okay, so I got back up. So, and I don't want to get long-winded here because we already talked about this kind of at length in another episode, but you have to remember that for the sake of argument, Magic the Gathering is meant the way it's designed. So the way each set is designed is for tournament play and limited play. And what that means is that limited is where you do either a sealed where they give you 6 packs, you open them up, and then you build your deck out of those 6 packs. You did that with me.
I love that. That's why I like Jumpstart.
There's draft, which is very similar to sealed, where you take 3 packs and then you sit in a pod of up to 8 people, and then you open your pack, you go through it, you pick a card, and then you pass your pack to the left, and then the next pack you go to the right, and so you take a pack, and then when you're all said and done, you have like draft that's more skill intensive. It takes some learning. That's limited. So these sets, when they come out, they're designed for that limited environment. So they're not going to put like 8 different really good kill spells in one set because it would break the limited format. And then they're designed for a 1-year rotation of standard Magic, which is the competitive tournament 60 card Magic. So despite what most people think, Wizards is trying to design these sets to be viable in a limited format, and then you take those limited format cards and then you try to make a constructed deck out of it. They're not made with EDH in mind, even though people will say like, oh, this card was obviously printed for the EDH players, whatever. So that being said, every once in a while there's something that slips in under the radar that it doesn't seem like it'd be that broken in limited or in standard Magic, but when you have the entire Magic history card pool open to you, you're like, holy crap, this like really, especially with the different rules of Commander, this card really breaks the format. But that being said, no, there's not usually a ton of cards that get banned in Commander. They probably, when Commander was, or EDH is what it used to be called, when that format was originally made popular, they probably had to go back and ban a lot of older stuff.
Yeah.
And then now that they're carrying forward, you get like 1, maybe 2 a year, and they'll ban things, they'll unban things. They have changed certain rules to make certain things better. And I don't want to get like crazy in like the weeds with this, but like one of the rules was the rule that stated that so your color identity, like those are the only cards that you have. But there's certain cards that'll say like add 1 mana of any color. The original EDH rules were you could only add, like, even if that card said add 1 mana of any color, you couldn't add, like, if your deck was blue green,
Mhm.
you couldn't in a corner case, if it like some weird interaction was happening, you couldn't tap a card that added 1 mana of any color and then like create red. You
Yeah.
couldn't create mana of, and so there is a perfect commander so send triplets. Send triplets is a white, blue, black legendary creature. It says at the beginning of your upkeep, choose target opponent. This turn, that player can't play spells or activated abilities and plays with his or her hand revealed. You can play cards from that player's hand. The problem with that legendary creature before they changed that rule is that if you had to be able to create blue, black, or white mana in your own commander to be able to take use that commander's ability. But now with that rule change, you can actually use send triplets, and you can put cards in like Chromatic Lantern and stuff like that that let you create mana of any. So you get that every once in a while. But yeah, but didn't mean to get all like in the weeds there. But for the most part,
Yep.
The cool thing about Commander is that if you got a deck, you have a deck. Like my favorite, all-time favorite, it's the deck I've got tons of EDH decks, but the deck that I've primarily been piloting for the last almost 3 years now is Hazazon Tamar. He's a white, green, and red legendary creature, and he creates Sand Warrior tokens. And so I play that deck all the time, and every time a new set comes out, that's what I do. I sit there and I look at the cards and I'm like, oh, that would be perfect. Like that card's a perfect swap out for this one. Like this makes the deck a little bit better, blah blah blah. And but for the most part, I would say 80% of my deck is still the same way as it was when I built it 3 years ago, because it just that's what I like about it. I like the fact that you don't have to worry about rotation. I like the fact that it's like I always call it like the beer, and obviously it's not now because we're in a freaking raging pandemic, but I always called it like the beer and pretzels Magic, because it's like it's usually multiplayer, so more than 2 people. So it's like you get your buddies together, you hang out, make some appetizers, and just sling cardboard all night, and nobody cares. It's like not competitive. It's supposed to be pretty casual, so that's why I always liked it.
Now, do you think? You could talk about. We talked about previous shows, like when we got into Magic. You got into it in 2010, brought me into it going into 2011. We think we figured out, and that was like a big shift because it was getting popular again for whatever reason. We could have a whole episode on whatever reason, but do you think something like this is really revitalizing? Reviving Magic, because it is more towards the people who may have grown up with it, who are our age and have left for a decade, and now they can go grab a box and learn.
Right. So we've talked about this before when it comes to Magic the Gathering finance. So we know that obvious competitive Magic, tournament Magic drives a lot of the card prices, but surprising to what most people would guess is that tabletop, like kitchen table, when we say kitchen table Magic, we're talking about like the I don't care, you can have whatever in your deck. It's kitchen table casual Magic that still drives the Magic economy, the Magic, the machine. If it wasn't for the kitchen table players, think about it. Think about it now. Like people are paying, well, not necessarily for these precons, but for the MTG Legends boosters. People are paying markups right now on these booster boxes just to get their hands on these so they can rip packs and see what they get. There is no competitive Magic right now that's driving that. That is people like me and you who just want to sit at home, and that's during a freaking pandemic where a lot of people are on lockdown and a lot of people don't feel comfortable getting together with each other to play. So that's why Commander is so popular. That's why things like these are so popular, because it appeals to the casual people.
And not to make fun of our own kind, the nerd, but we're not the healthiest bunch all the time.
Right.
And especially when you get with your friends who you haven't seen in months. I mean, that's been one of our biggest things of like not hanging out with people, because it's like, oh, that's my friend. They don't have COVID. That's my
Yeah.
buddy. I haven't seen you. Oh, what's up?
Well, yeah,
And then,
because you feel comfortable with that
you feel
person. Yeah,
comfortable.
it doesn't feel like a stranger. It doesn't feel
Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So your family members.
But you have to play. But you have to like literally like pretend like everybody's got COVID.
Yeah.
Like at this
Oh,
point,
shit's hitting close to the workplace and everywhere else, man.
Yeah. But just to touch on that last thing really quick about that is that like competitive Magic, tournament Magic, like the most efficient cards that give you card advantage, draw cards, your counter spells, things that like. I'm not saying that's not an important commander, because you can make some spicy commander decks. I mean, believe me, I played against some like dudes that like turn 3 were like, you can stop this. No, I won, and you're like, what the fuck?
I win.
Right.
Can you real quick before you? Yeah. Can you have multiple legendary creatures in your deck, but one of them is designated your commander?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So, yep.
Right.
And to jump on that subject is that I don't think yours has it on yours, on mine doesn't, but there's 2 different kinds of partner commanders.
Okay.
So there's commanders that say partner as a keyword. And what that means is that you can have 2 commanders if they have that partner. That's all it has to say. It just has to say partner. And then there's partner with. So there's certain commanders that will say like, this commander partners with this commander. So they sit outside the game in your command zone. We'll talk about that, because I think you said you had a question about that, like how you actually play your commander or where your commander
I don't
goes.
even know how to
But yeah, so, and then those partners share their color identity, which is really cool. So like if you have like a blue-green commander that has partner on it, and then you have like a red-black commander that has partner on it, you put those together, and now you have access to blue, green, red, black.
Yeah. Sorry, when you said blue, it made me laugh with that Progressive commercial. Oh, blue. He's got blue hair.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah. But then inside you're not, so we call it in the 99. Okay. Those are the cards. So your commander is the one that's the face piece of the deck. It stays outside of the game in the command zone. And then the other 99 cards in your 100 card deck, those make up your deck. So when we refer to other legendary creatures inside the deck, as long as they're not banned and they meet that color identity, they're just called part of the 99. And you'll hear that referred to sometimes. Like you'll hear people when they're breaking down the strengths and weaknesses of certain commanders and stuff like that, they'll look at a certain commander card and they'll be like, yeah, I don't see this one being like a really good commander on its own, but it would be great in the 99 in this kind of a deck.
Cool.
So, yeah.
How many lands do you usually put in a deck like this?
So usually with 60 card Magic, we talk about 24 lands, 36 spells. With EDH, I say the minimum would be 36. Okay. So we would go 36 lands minimum, and then from there it's going to go up depending on things like how many mana rocks you have, which mana rock, like those are like artifacts and stuff like that that also produce mana. Do you have any mana dorks? Mana dorks is something like a Land of War Elves. That's the 1 green mana for the 1/1. It just taps for a green mana. So if you have like a really streamlined, low mana curve Magic deck with like a lot of mana dorks and stuff like that in it, you could probably get away with like 33, 32 lands. Like you're really starting to stretch it there. And then other decks, like your deck, which is a Land Matters deck, you may want to go like 40 in there. Okay. I don't know how many it comes with, but 40, because it's a land centric deck, you want to be doing stuff with lands. You want to be putting extra lands in, stuff like that. But 36 is definitely the minimum, and it goes up or down from there. Especially like if your commander's got like triple mana cost, so like you get certain ones that have like 3 different colors of mana. So from there. But yeah, I always say from the start, 36 mana. And that's always a big thing, man. It's a big thing in Magic. I deal with this thing. I like when guys ask me, you know, and not like I'm an expert, but I've been around,
Mhm.
and I would get a lot of people that would ask me like, hey man, how can you improve this deck and stuff like that? Or like big one is like limited. So limited Magic is 40 cards. And so we usually do like 17 minimum lands and 23 cards on there. And one of the things that I would see sometimes is that guys would be, or gals would be like coming to you with their draft deck or their sealed deck, and it'd have like 13 or 14 lands in it and like all these other spells. And I'm like, well, man, you're not getting your land. You're not being able to cast your stuff because you don't have enough land. They're like, yeah, but I want, and it's like, yeah, but that's the thing about Magic is that other than the obvious, you know, chance and stuff like that of getting things, it's like you have to have mana, you have to have land. Like your spells are useless if you don't have the mana to cast them. So, and it sucks, man, because when you're sitting there looking at like a really cool card that you want to play, and you're looking at like a basic, like ooh, a swamp or yeah, obviously that cool card looks better than a swamp or another basic land, but hey, you need those basics, you need those lands, you need those mana sources.
I did that once with when like we were like real heavy into it, and then going into 2012, I was like trying to get back in, and I'd buy like a pack here or there, and I'm like, you know, I'm going to construct my own ingenious deck. And I remember like doing the artifact thing and lowering my regular mana. So I figured I would subsidize a less mana heavy deck with artifacts that created mana or mana dorks, and just got whooped because in laying it out in the sketch process of creating this, you know, monstrosity I had, it looked fine, and then in actual practice of playing it, and it's just like, yeah, I'm spending my time harvesting mana instead of like attacking and healing, you know.
Right.
So it's like, oh, cool.
So I just picked the first one that came off my head, so it may be a little bit more than some of the other ones, but I just want to touch one more like quick thing on the mana thing, the land thing. So back in the old days when we used to have like the bricks decks, like the just like 200 card decks, we didn't know what the hell we're doing. Like most people when they first started playing Magic, they had no idea what the hell they were doing.
No, every
Magic came with this like little teeny rule book. You had no idea what you're doing. People would just like shove like all 5 colors together. They had no idea.
Fink would still, that's how he would still play. I'd show up with a 60 card when we learned, like around the time I got married, I mean, we went up north, me and you had our like 60 card pre-decks, and he showed up with these 100, like how many cards you get there? 132? Like, cool. What era are those cards from? What did you play? It's like, well, it's just tournament play. I'm like, I know, but that's what we have. Like,
exactly. So the point I'm trying to make though is that back in those days, there was like 2 iconic cards, and one of them was Sarah Angel, and the other one was Shivan Dragon. So you don't even need to know.
Shivan Dragon. Okay.
But like Shivan Dragon, like that seems like dope. Like this is like a new card game, and you're like, dude, Shivan Dragon. There were people that were trading the dual lands, like Taiga, Tropical Island, Underground Sea, for Shivan Dragons back in those days, because they were like, why do I want this land? I could have a Shivan Dragon. Yeah. You can get a Shivan Dragon right now for the grand total of like 10 cents.
Wow.
An Underground Sea, which is one of those dual lands, will cost you $529.
Wow.
So that just goes to show you, and the reason why there's that discrepancy is because the importance of mana.
Yeah.
And that's the big, like when everybody's talking about getting into Legacy, which is where those cards are used, which is why they're that much money.
Yeah.
That is always the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the paywall, it's always a thing that like stops you, is that, yeah, I can get like some of these cool cards, whatever, like they might be $10 or $15, but once it gets to the mana base, you're looking at thousands of dollars to acquire the mana base to be able to put that deck together.
No.
That's why my deck is still mono red. The one that every once in a while when they come to Indianapolis and do a big Star City Games tournament, I always show up in mono red. because I've got the fetch lands, which those are even expensive. Those are like almost $100 a piece. But I didn't pay that for mine. I kept mine from years ago. My buddy was like, dude, sell those things, man. They're getting ready to rotate. And I'm like, no, I worked way too hard to acquire these. And I thought it was a big deal to acquire those things at like 14, 15 bucks a piece. Back then, I needed 8 of them, and I kept them, and now I'm glad. So, but yeah, mono red, dude, if you're going to get into Legacy. Because all those 3-color monstrosities and cool stuff decks, thousands of dollars, baby.
Yeah, it looks like that Shivan Dragon didn't have the Charizard longevity.
No. Yeah.
Ooh, Pokemon. So do you want to jump into these?
Yeah.
No, I made the cardinal. I don't know if it's a cardinal mistake. I made a very newbie mistake, and this maybe more or less why we're not playing this version tonight. I don't have any sleeves because I sleeved up my whole Ikoria set prematurely, so it's like sleeved ready to go. I don't think I had 100 sleeves though. I think I literally like scavenged for 60. So I'll probably I'll see if Mike can do like a DoorDash pickup, like just go and get it from his place. Because
dude, man,
be a super spreader.
Get Dragon Shield mats.
Yeah.
Or like, because I don't know if you're like me where your hands sweat a little bit when you play, but I don't think the camera is going to pick this up, but I'm
getting sweaty.
No, these aren't it. These are regular ones.
Yeah.
But
because I had
these Dragon Shields I have, they will stick together if I start to play and my hands start to get sweaty.
The ones I bought for Welcome 2, they were sticking together, but it was worth it because the Welcome 2 cards were starting to get damaged. We were playing so much. But after like 3 or 4 games, they'll start to get better.
You'll see that, and I'm not disparaging the Welcome to people whatsoever, but you'll actually see that depending on like printing,
we got
places they go to and stuff like that. Like I see that all the time. Like there's games that I buy and people make fun of me because like almost every board game I buy that's got cards.
Well,
I sleeve everything,
yeah.
And it's because I've had games before where it's like I played one game and like already like shit was nicked, rubbing off, had wear marks on it, and I'm like, dude, I can't have that.
Well, I did it first because we were like the second time we played it. I think we played like 2 games the first night, and we played it again real quick. I did an off shuffle, so when you do like the, and I like. All of a sudden, and you did it when you just feel like, and it like kind of like, oh, a card on card, just like, and then I like shuffled and I could see that in the corner, in like the corner part of the card, it like dog-eared and then bent the laminate back. And that's when I was like, sleeves, I need sleeves. And it was fine. And we played, but that's not a card intensive game, but it makes it so much nicer to, get the cards a nice sleeve. And I would do it for any game I play. I want to sleeve everything, but pick and choose what I spend the money on with sleeving things. But yeah, no, I love Welcome to. No hate at all for the cards. It just means that we love to play in that game. That we just love playing it. So we're just beating up those cards.
That's good.
And it's a badge of honor too to be like, I sleeved these.
Yeah.
So my hands are dry. I'm getting toasty. I don't have my knife in here. I'm messed up. So I'm not going to jump in too much with the cards. Do we just
we'll look at the showcase commander.
Okay.
And then we'll kind of talk about
maybe a couple. Can I tear into this?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Like we'll just kind of talk about like the showcase, like the commander, right? So the one that's on front, like that's supposed to be who the deck's built around.
Oh, this packaging doesn't double as anything. It's not like some of the other ones.
No, not the outside packaging. You'll have a deck box on the inside.
Ooh.
But I don't know if they've made them yet to where they might have. I can probably tell
Now I went to Target to get this. I would normally go to my local shop, but he hasn't been posting a lot, so I don't know if he got any of these in. But
So
I
you'll
will.
want to keep this. There's like a learn to play commander. Just a couple of like tips. I'm obviously going to toss that because I've got about 1 million of those.
Yeah, I noticed that already.
Oh, dude. Okay, so first of all, that's oh,
Right,
I don't want to get ahead of you.
I got to rip into it. Sorry, I'm being
This is actually pretty dope. So I can already tell just by looking at it that they finally made deck boxes that are big enough for sleeved decks.
Oh, there's a little bit of space, a little bit of room.
Yeah, like it used to be, you would get a deck box and then it would like be the exact dimensions of the on-sleeve cards. So.
Oh Jesus. Oh, dude, it's a wheel. I thought it was a dice. Dude, I love.
The wheel that comes with it. Yeah,
I love the dice. Oh, because it's 40. Shit, that's right. Well, this is pretty cool. So
it's 40. Yeah, so you get the wheel.
Double-sided life counter.
Yep.
Oh, it's interesting. On the back, I have number 1, and on the front, at number 22. Let's get the front to 1.
I'm trying to figure out what the deal is with that. Oh, that's why. One's a 20-sided. One's 20. One's 40.
Yeah,
so
we have to turn it around. So that's cool. Yeah. So you can play up to. Oh, that's cool. A little different. I'm used to getting my die.
Yeah.
I'm a dice whore, or a dice goblin, I would say.
Yeah, you get the die with the fat packs.
Oh, so mine. Oh, it's a paper case too. That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
So my deck will live in here for a while until I get it. My deck will live in here until I get it properly sleeved. How sturdy are these things?
Oh, they're pretty good.
Pretty good for a while. We can make. It's so weird, like, trying not to order so much stuff offline. Maybe I'll just create a list, like a backlog of stuff, and then we can go to Gen Con, just go ape shit.
Yeah. So I like the fact, and this is something that goes back. They've been doing this for a long time with all the commander decks, but I like the fact that they come with tokens.
Yeah.
That are for the things that you create in that deck.
Yeah, not just random stuff like from the cards.
Because sometimes these things are made for pre-releases, or we used to call them like we used to get some of this stuff early, right? Mm-hmm. So we would go to like a local game store and they would be like, well, you're not really supposed to buy it a week early, but you can buy it if you're going to like go head to head. And we're like, okay, we're going to go head to head. We're going to buy this shit and we fucking leave. But if you're doing that, like if me and you bought these decks right now at a local game store and we were going to play against each other, you might not have the tokens that you need. And what I mean by a token,
you can see the split. It's not going to catch up on camera. You can see the split where the tokens are, or like the portals.
So like certain cards will say like create a 1/1 soldier token. That's what this is right here. That's a 1/1 soldier, or like here's a Saproling.
Saproling, yep.
You probably have an Avenger of Zendikar in there. I'm telling you that right now. Betcha. I can just by looking at some of the tokens, I can already guess what cards are going to have in that deck.
Well, I was going to keep this little pack sealed, but.
If you have an Avenger of Zendikar, that's actually a good pickup for you because that's a mythic rare from back in the day.
Nice.
All right, there's all my equipment. Like God, this actually has a lot of interaction with it, which is kind of weird. But I think the reason why is because I did see on the back of the box that it comes with a Sunforger.
Mm-hmm.
So Sunforger is a 3 generic mana, 3 colorless mana. Artifact equipment, and it says red and white unattached Sunforger. Search your library for a red or white instant card with converted mana cost 4 or less, and cast that card without paying its mana cost. Then shuffle your library. So it's pretty cool because with cards like I saw Disenchant in here. Mm-hmm. So Disenchant is a 1 and a white instant, destroy target enchantment artifact. So it's kind of going on that theme as far as like being able to keep some mana up and deal with that's where the elephant tokens came from. Generous gift. That's an instant. That's actually a really cool one because You don't usually get that kind of stuff in red and white.
That's very interesting for me to go through this because I'm so used to seeing doubles and everything, and to go through this. So, what was the card I was looking at? What you said you were looking for?
Oh, you're looking for a green card called Avenger of Zendikar.
So, what are the cards that have like the hologram in the bottom? See if I can get it to shine.
So let me see. Go closer, not the hologram, but go up to the. It's probably that's a rare.
Oh,
anything that's a rare or a mythic rare has that hologram on it to combat. Not theft. What am I like? Reprint like fakes.
Okay. Well, you should put money on it, bro.
There it is. I've thought of landfall like not. So read that card.
Avengers in the car. Dude, this card is dope. All right. When Avengers in the car enters the battlefield, create a 0/1 green plant creature. So that's how I get those. I got some 0/1 tokens in there. For each land you control. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may put a +1/1 counter on each plant. Oh, so you create these like weird little like ding dong plants.
Right. So the play, and it doesn't have to always be this way, but the play has always been. So he's what, 7 mana, I think.
Yeah. Oh,
so
the beasts and stuff. These are dual.
So you wait until you have enough mana that you can play the Avengers Zendikar, right?
Mm-hmm.
So say you have 8 mana. You have 8 lands. So you tap your 7 lands. You put your Avengers Zendikar out there. You're going to get 7 plant tokens, and then you play your land for the turn, and you get you buff them. So it's pretty cool.
Wow, so they only give you 2 of these plant tokens, though.
Well, you can use a die to represent.
Well, that's why I have the cube up here somewhere.
So my commander, just to tell everybody,
yes,
I've got. So the red white one that I got is Willith, Soul of Steel. He's 1 generic, a red and a white for a 2/2 legendary human warrior. He's got Trample. So remember, Trample is whatever extra damage goes through. So if I attack you with a 3/3 and you block with a 2/2, one damage is going to go through.
Okay.
But he's got the unique ability to, whenever Will of Soul of Steel attacks, draw a card for each aura and equipment attached to it. So obviously, right off the bat, looking at that, I'm going to want to fill this deck up with like cool auras and equipments. It's already come with some good ones. But like I said, the amount of interaction that's in here was kind of funny at first, but then I saw the Sunforger, and then that makes sense. But it's got some basic bitch equipment. There's obviously some things I would add to here. It's not going to have the swords, so the sword cycle, those are pretty expensive. It's not going to have things like Batter Skull, but that's you'll learn over time the color combinations. So white, red's Boros.
Okay,
that's the name of that guild, and that's just more of like a flavor thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can just say red, white.
Yeah.
But if you say Boros to certain Magic players, they're going to go, "Oh yeah, I know what Boros is." But that's kind of a Boros thing, is equipment, enchantments. Like put in some creatures with like cool keywords like trample or double strike and stuff like that, and then equip them with things that buff them. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty pimp. So,
$25 with the paper right here.
Yeah,
I love it.
I'll say, like, people could probably sit here and pick this apart or whatever, but I honestly think that 20 and like I said, I'm trying to talk to you and look at what's going on at the same time here. But to me personally, like this is a pretty good mix of cards and reprints. For a $25 pre-constructed deck.
And is someone like
Like if
me
you're somebody that's never played Magic before, like some
Yeah.
of these are like some needed reprints.
and for someone like me who's just getting back into it, who wants to play Commander or EDH and doesn't have the means to, because what I would do, if I didn't have this option, was just buy a bunch of packs. Now, how much money am I going to spend to get a legendary creature as a commander plus 99, well, 34 or 64 ish? Yeah, because you said 36.
Yeah.
So 54 unique cards. My math may have been off, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that would be hard. I mean, we've both been there where you go to the store, you got $5 rattling around, in your pocket somewhere, or just want to treat yourself to something. Like I feel like buying Magic cards is like our scratch and sniff lottery tickets.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just you buy them, you sit in the car, and you see what you got. I can't imagine doing.
Dude, that's why I bought these 3 packs earlier. It's the same thing we just opened, but this is like the random cool shit that you might be able to get.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I wanted, so if you're interested in this format, like if you came here to this particular episode and you hear us talking about EDH and all that, I wanted to point everybody to 2 websites. The first one I wanted to go to is Scryfall. This is a website that you can look up pretty much every Magic card. So earlier I was talking about the Avenger of Zendikar. Right there, boom. It brings it up. It talks about, if you look over here, it gives you prints. It'll tell you how much the card's worth, that kind of thing.
Also, those are the times it was printed. So like World Wake, Commander 2013, shit.
Yeah. And then it's got all these other tools. So because we're sticking with EDH, one of the things you can go to is you can go to card analysis on EDHREC. So EDHREC is a website that pools data from all the different decks that people have submitted. And I'm getting hung up here. So there you go. Vendors Zendikar. But you can go to, like, you can view combos with them. But you can go to like things like top commanders. So if you go to top commanders, these are the top legendary creatures that use an Avenger of Zendikar in them. That kind of thing.
Cool.
The other thing that's cool about EDHREC, so I'll do my new commander, Willa Soul of Steel. This is just using EDHREC as in. So there's my commander that just came on pre-con. Say you open this guy in a pack and you're just like, man, I kind of want some direction of where I can go from here. You can actually go down, and then so it'll show things like the new cards. So these are the new cards that have just been printed that are being seen are seen in a lot of decks that people play with that Lilith. And then you can go to reprints. So these are the reprints that are in a lot of those decks. And then here's where things really get helpful, is like the high synergy cards. So you're looking at things like here, SRAM is a perfect example. Whenever you cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle spell, draw a card. That obviously makes sense in a deck where you're already trying to put auras and equipments on your, so and every once in a while you do this, like you might find something that you just like, oh crap, I didn't even like think about that card. So those are some tools you can use to go and just get information on
nice. Yeah, I'm a totally
different cards, whether it's EDH or just regular, just like wanting to know, like say you open up a mythic rare in a pack and you're just like, oh man, what's that? Like what's one I just got from, oh, here's a perfect example, Nevin Roll. So Nevin, totally screwing this up, but we'll try. There he is. So Nevin Raw, Urborg Tyrant. I just opened this guy from a pack the other day. I had no idea. I want to see, is he worth anything? Nope, not really. 52 cents, but cool. But he's also a legendary, so I'm like, great, man. How what kind of cards would be cool in that deck? And then obviously some people want to do that completely on their own. I usually do that. I will take a legendary creature like this one, and I will start thinking off the top of my head like what kind of cards I'd want to go in there. And then after I've gotten kind of my pile of cards, I'll go to EDHREC to try to like hone it in, like see if there's anything I haven't thought about. See if there's things that like for whatever reason like I think it's good in my deck, but it may not be in hardly anybody else's deck that's running this creature. So, but yeah, so those are two websites that are really valuable.
No, it's awesome
for new EDH players. Obviously, I don't know the website off the top of my head because I don't usually visit it very often, but the official Commander website, it's a good place to go to for the banned and restricted list, rules, stuff like that.
I liked how that one had like, I didn't realize there's so many, like Penny was a version of playing.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
Like all these different versions of playing Magic.
Yeah.
Like, because there's like the ones that they tell you, like Standard, Commander, and Draft. And then
Penny Dreadful is one that's in like, I want to say that's like, it was made popular on Magic Online. And those were cards that were like only like basically 1 cent a piece. Like they're not even like a full ticket, which is $1. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, they have all kinds of formats. They have an EDH format called Tiny Leaders, which is almost the same exact thing as EDH. The only difference, which my pre-con I just got, would be legal because he's only 3 mana the cost. But yeah, your commander. When I say converted mana cost, that means the total mana of not only the generic, but also the 2 colors. So like he was like 1 and then a white and a red. So his converted mana cost is 3. So Tiny Leaders is you can only have a general that's 3 mana or less as your general. So they've come out with some cool one. Some have stuck, some haven't. So
change it up, make it fun.
They have one format that's like the big boy wallet format. It's called Old School 93-94. Like literally you can only use cards that were printed in those years. And I'm not talking about like Llanowar Elves was printed back then, right? But they've also like obviously like reprinted Llanowar Elves even in sets as new as this. You have to use the 93-94 printing. Yeah, so they're really expensive. Yep.
What kind of sleeves are those cards in?
Like triple.
Yeah. I would have just like a proxy deck. Like I own all of them. You can see, but I have replicas in an actual deck.
Exactly. But yeah, though that was fun. That was cool, man. Like unboxing. Like I dig it.
Yeah, no, it's fun. All right, so we're gonna sign off. That's the end of the episode. Feel free to give us a like
and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Hit us up.
Shout out to Fruki Shane and Junior now. Junior, I know is listening. Yep.
Thank you.
Episode 3.
And if you jumped on the Legacy, I'm not even saying it right. If you jumped on the Legends, this is, if you're just getting back into Magic, hit us up with a comment if you're old hat at it. And
it sucks so bad. And I say sucks, I get it. Like there's people that are on hard times and dealing with some shit like with this pandemic. So I don't mean to take away, but figure of speech, it sucks so bad that this is supposed to be the year of Commander, which is like the year of getting together with your buddies and playing this awesome format. And it's like it happened during a fucking global pandemic. So
we were going through our phones and just deleting old photos. And Dana's like, remember you married somebody at the beginning of the year? And I was like, that was this year? She's like, yeah, in January. I was like, oh,
yeah.
In the before time.
Yeah.
Performed a service.
January and February were like no big deal. And then it was like
the end of February was little.
Yeah.
This we went to a little sidebar, little humor for the show to end the show. We went to one concert we went to this year was Sturgill Simpson. And the Detroit the Detroit date was February 29th. I'm not misspeaking. It was on Leap Day. And that was when COVID, we had our first case in Michigan, but it was like just any fucking day now.
I think I remember you saying that. Yep.
And so we go to this concert, and me and my wife, we've talked about this on the show. We love music posters from shows, and we're at, I think it was the Masonic. I forget. It may have been the Masonic. Well, it's a different venue than most venues. There's not like a merch booth. It was actually like a room, because this is like a place where like plays and musicals gets put on, you know. And so I like walk downstairs, and then I'm walking and I look and I'm like, ooh, there's a room with merchant. Nobody's in there. Jump in. And now, because this is at, and I may have misspoken where it was actually at, but it's not a normal theater. It's a fancy place. So you're constantly trying to get out of people's way. And the whole time I'm just like, wash your hands, don't touch, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So I have a tube of posters, about 2 posters, one for us and one for my sister and brother-in-law. I'm walking back to my seats. And to get to my seat, I had to like go like through a tunnel up to the like mezzanine area, turn all the way around, walk up another flight of stairs to the back of the place pretty much, and walk across the back and then walk down. So I had to pretty much do like a big like U to get to my seats. So I'm walking up the stairs. Tyler Childers is playing, you know, it's like this cool country song. And now, for those who don't know, we go to a lot of metal shows. Country shows are by far the craziest fucking shows we've ever been to. You know what I mean? Like country music, just, it's like people who haven't gone to a show in like years are at a country music show.
Yeah.
You know, metal shows, people just like, whatever, you know, what's up, you know, pretty chill and shit. So it's like, you got some like hot messes all around. And as I'm walking up the stairs to make the right to go, you know, around to my seat, I'm like bebopping around, and this woman reaches out and tries to touch my face. Like
shit.
The whole thing of like, don't touch it. Like that was during, and I had like the tube, and I was like, ugh! Like it almost like bonked her with the tube, and kind of like a, you know, like a uncomfortable, like no, don't touch me.
Yeah.
You know, and so then I walked around her and got back, and then the whole time I'm just like, for like the rest of the Tyler Childers performance, I'm like, what if she touched me? Like what on my face? You know what I mean? Just like freaking out.
I said that earlier, dude. I was like, people grossed me out before COVID. Like, so it's even worse now.
But just a stranger. And it's weird that like, I get it. Like, you're drunk, whatever. That's just like, she felt just so like, hey, this dude with a beard coming my way. I'm going to go stroke his face. Like I'm a puppy. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
She's like, what? No. So I kind of just like uncomfortably got away, and I'm like sitting there. Dave's like, "What's wrong?" I go, "This woman tried to touch my face." Like, and it's like right when COVID's hitting. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Don't. I've touched my face like 3 times, but I'm in my house. I'm clean.
Right.
I haven't left.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was. We went to one concert, and I almost got my face stroked by a lady. That's a weird way to end it. But if you stayed to hear that story, you got
bonus shit right there.
Special treat.
Yes.
Special treat. All right, everybody, like and subscribe.
All right.
We're gonna do a quick jumpstart game, and if it works out, you'll have another video. If not, we'll probably talk about it. So
nice.
Peace out, everybody.
All right. I gotta go to the bathroom.
All right.